movement. Join, even set aside your differences. One focus is that you want a democratic Cambodia. If you don't act within this 6 months, it will take another 12 years for anything to be done. It'll be too late. Now, these are the advice of the experts in Washington, D.C. So election again is in May '98. We hope to have one. We don't have much time to take action. Cambodia doesn't have much time to survive. That's basically it. What can we do? There was a study you had mentioned. What can we do to have a free, fair election in Cambodia? These are things that we probably need to talk about. Some ideas that I had from listening to the experts there on Southeast Asia and Cambodia is that, of course, we need to unite, and we're not doing that right now. We need to appeal to the international community. We need to write letters to the United Nations, the Secretary, the Ambassador of the United Nations, the signatories of the Paris Peace Accord. We need to appeal to these people that you can't allow this to happen. We need to appeal all to the senators and congresses in all the states. And the most important thing, we need to unite with all of the organization, Khmer organization, in Oregon, Washington, and all the states here in America. We all need to stand, unite, and say, we need the United Nations, the American government, the international community to do something to stop this. Because, like Jeff said, the expert there about the democratic movement, he said, it will take another 12 years if you don't do something now. Either way, our children are dying. These are the things I hope that we can generate in discussion here, because what I have been thinking is that we all have attended a lot of meetings, but what has come out of that meeting? What have we done? And I'm glad that out of the conference and convention in Washington, D.C., has brought this, but we need more than just sitting and listening. We need to actually do something, write letters. We need to demand that democracy must exist, must prevail in Cambodia, and that United Nations has spent $3 billion on this, that they must protect, and there must be a fair election. A coup d'etat is illegal. If Ranariddh is incompetent, if he had done all these things, then he must be impeached by the people and by the democratic process in the court of law, not by one person as a coup d'etat. That is illegal. That is not a democratic process. Whether he's competent or not, let the Cambodian people in Cambodia and here and the rule of law impeach him if that is the case, but it must go through that process. And that's all I have to say. I hope to bring inspiration to this situation, and that we need to act and not wait for other people to do it for you. You need to be the one to do it. And we all can do it, but it's a lot of work. We have to do it if we care. There's no choice. Thank you.
And thank you, President. And also to elaborate a little bit on that, about 2 weeks ago I did the research, looked at through the internet, and I found out that the Health Organization of the United Nations found out that the tri-prostitution, or the HIV, or the AIDS and disease in Cambodia now, would take the government $3 billion a year to cure that disease, if they can secure supply. $3 billion a year. It's a lot of money to cure a disease, and Cambodia has the highest rate of HIV and AIDS disease now in Southeast Asia, by far above the Thailand. So without that, I'd like to turn the floor to Macau.
First of all, I would like to thank first that I'm sharing this sad information about Cambodia. And according to what we have talked so far, I think we do have a real bad problem in Cambodia, and what we have learned, democratic movement is the thing that we try to achieve right now. So it's we have to do first thing first. We cannot. We don't have much time, and suppose you want to go from point A to point B. You can draw any line, but there's only one line that can go from point A to point B. The quickest is a straight line. So today, what we're going to do is try to find that quickest way to get there. And I hope we will find the solution today. That's why we are here, and we will be willing to answer the question you will ask us.
So your band also would like to take that as well.
Democracy will not stop AIDS.
True.
AIDS started with democracy. Democracy will not stop AIDS. Only dictatorship will stop AIDS. You have you just said yourself that UNTAC is the one that started AIDS. So how are you going to open it up? And it's just going to get worse.
According to the research that has been done on that, UNTAC is the start due to high tourism. It's unmonitored. But we can't blame UNTAC for that because it has to do with poverty in Cambodia. Spread through, the Khmer Rouge and all that. A democratic movement, there's a rule of law. There is a government enforcing this.
But it is also...
To say that a dictator will stop AIDS, I'm not sure what you mean by that.
It is also capitalism that's
Yes.
spread it.
Yes.
And when we say democracy, we also say capitalism at the same time, even though we don't say that. But it is capitalism that's causing people to sell their daughter, basically.
But it's our people that's doing it.
That's correct, because
So-
they have to live.
Yes.
But that's not the only factor that's making people selling their daughters. There's moral values. And
That's-
there's a whole other dynamics that we're not being, and it's too big of a problem to even discuss it. I think we should just gear a focus in terms of, hey, let's brainstorm. What do we do now? You have less than 6 months. There's going to be an election going on. But a lot of Canadians are uneducated or don't know what to do, even writing political or just requesting some agenda to be discussed. You need almost a working committee, someone that would take the lead on and then do the prep work. Young would be willing to talk about a working committee or brainstorm. Let's start with a brainstorm and no values put on the brainstorm so that people will put out their ideas. I mean, I would love to discuss with you in terms of what are the dynamics. I agree with you. Yeah, capitalism. Yeah, it's a cause of the problems also, but it's not the only dynamics that's going on. And so, again, there's just too many dynamics to be discussing and not giving our energy in the right way.
Yeah, it is a breakdown of family, culture, a breakdown of the society. They don't know what's right and wrong anymore. To these children, to be a prostitute is a thing to do because that makes them survive. So they think that's the right thing. So morality is the opposite.
But also bring back to this, the WC organization, that we don't have to use weapon. I mean, we don't use weapon at all to achieve our goal, which is the three principles. You're all here, you can see you're all almost like a middle generation of Cambodia that came out here when we were 14, 15, 16 years old. Now we're going to all this school, all this learning, all we see this. And I believe the organization also can use the legal right as a citizen of this country, we got a senator, a congressman, that we can write a letter to and say, look, you know, I strongly believe that, I had a friend of mine that visited me last summer, and he pointed out when we were on the way to Mount Hood, and he said that people around the world will not act or do anything without the lead by the Americans. And we strongly believe in that. Americans take the lead on anything around the world to improve rules of compliance. Chip said their congressional people, their elected people would do that. We asked the Cambodian Americans have the right as a taxpayer to inform our lawmaker to present an issue. This is what we think is right for the Cambodian people. And we don't have to use the force to do it. We have the legal right, we have the institutional knowledge, like it tell us that. Institutional knowledge is the key. It's the power to put the words out to make sure people understand that Cambodia is a very, very tough subject. It's very hard. That's why we are here to brainstorm to get feedback. What can we do? 6 months to go. Can we do that? And also, just to put that out, that we have a strong support from Senator Ron Wyden. He sent his press secretary to read his speech during our convention in Washington, D.C. We also had great support from Senator Gordon Smith from the state of Oregon. These two senators are very powerful, especially Gordon Smith. He's the member of the Foreign Affairs in Washington, D.C. And he really supported WCC here. So then again, it works if we work closely with our community, with our people, brainstorming, find out a good subject, a good policy or program that we can have lawmakers to support us. That's what WCC is for. We advocate for the three principles. And like I said earlier, without those three principles, nothing would exist. Nothing would exist.
So